subscribe our channel, stay till the end of the stories for more twist and turn. Comment us about what kind of stories you like to hear. I, 36 male, involuntarily went to the mental health hospital and my wife, 35 female, cheated on me while I was there. She left the country, said she wanted to sleep with other people. This is my first post here in Reddit, so please bear with me. I want to go through some background here. It's going to be long, but I think it's an important history for someone to understand. I'll try to start from the beginning and go from there. TLDR, both my wife and I have pretty bad mental illnesses and have both verbally abused each other. I feel like when this happened to my wife, I supported her and gave her a second chance. Now that almost the same thing has happened to me, she cheated on me, ran away to another country and wanted to sleep with other people. What should I do in the next 1-2 years? The long version. I met my wife in 2010 in Europe. She's American, while she was at an internship. I was in the Marine Corps at the time and we had an amazing summer together. She had to go back to school and I had to go to my next duty station. We spent a year apart, but in late 2011 I moved in with her in Connecticut. It was great. I started community college, she finished law school, and by the time we were ready to move on she got a job at a firm in Boston and I got into a school in the city too. Her job was incredibly stressful and my engineering program was too. We got married in 2013 and the arguments started soon after. I was really afraid of her. She would come home already angry and yell at me for little things like not having walked the dog, not having dinner ready, apartment not tidy, etc. She was like an argument grenade with a short fuse. I started to just make sure everything was in its place and done for her, but school started to get difficult. I had to back off on the household chores. The fights got worse and I started to argue back and get stressed myself. In early 2016 she stopped her antidepressants, and went through SSRI withdrawal and had insomnia for almost 6 weeks. I told her that I found a job in California and she could come with me if she talked to a psychiatrist, otherwise I was going by myself and would ask for a divorce. She agreed, found a psychiatrist, and was diagnosed with a severe mental illness and started some pretty heavy medication for it. We moved to Cali and it was going really well. I felt like I had my wife back. We spent 2.5 great years in there, until she got into a top school in Boston and we moved back. I found a new job in corporate America that was 80 to 100% travel. That's when things started to get bad for me. This new job was on another planet, stressful, and her school was just as or more stressful. I started to act out. Anger I couldn't control, drinking almost every day. I started to lose my concentration and felt I couldn't even solve small routine problems. I was like an argument grenade with a short fuse. In February, I called the Veterans Crisis Line, while my wife was at another internship in Europe. I involuntarily went to the mental health hospital and was in and out of inpatient and outpatient programs for 3 months. Around this time my wife said she wanted a separation because of all the previous anger, her feeling like she was my caretaker, etc. I said okay. One night in April I also overhear her talking to her friends about how she made out with someone. I was pissed and confronted her. Then in May I get a call from her at 1 a.m, she was at a party with her school friends. She said, "I'm lost and I don't know where I am, can you pick me up?" I wanted to hook up with this girl, but she didn't want to and I hate her now. I drove around town and eventually was able to find her. She was incredibly drunk, hysterically crying and slurring her words. I got her to bed, but I knew something incredibly bad was happening. I looked through her phone that night and ended up finding text messages from March between her and a guy talking about how great the sex was. It was a shame he couldn't come over anymore, because I got out of the hospital, and could she sneak out at night? I confronted her about it and she fessed up. She had been cheating on me since February, it's now May, while I was at the hospital and at home. She even lied to my face once about taking a friend to the airport when she actually went to his house. In June she got a full-time job for a year at the internship she did last summer in Europe. She told me she wanted to keep the separation and sleep with other people. She left mid-June even though I asked her to push it back for couples counseling. So it's now August. I've been on disability from work since February. My entire life changed in one night. I hate my job, my wife cheated on me and left me, and I have a new mental health diagnosis that I am still struggling with. I have a psychiatrist and therapist through the VA and they are helping. I feel like when this happened with my wife I supported her and gave her a second chance. Now, that almost the same thing has happened to me, she's acted out and ran away. I'm not sure what the actual problem is. It seems the cheater is done with the marriage, and you are getting professional help. All you need now is time to heal. There seems no ambiguity about your relationship with STBXW. Welcome to the next phase of your life. Good luck. Y'all's relationship was pretty toxic. Not sure it was ever going to work out. That doesn't make you feel any less hurt, but keep focusing on improving your mental health and getting better and find a more rewarding relationship. You have your own stuff to worry about, man. Just cut her off and serve her as with divorce papers when possible. She sounds like a train wreck from early in. You need to get yourself better. Get rid of the baggage before she kills you. I am glad you are in therapy to get to the root of what is causing you to have such difficulty with dealing with the stress of normal life. You seem to have a great deal of potential, and it is a shame that you are having difficulty with your mental health. There is nothing good to come from having her in your life, and she has done you the favor of removing herself. Work on creating a healthy, happy and fulfilling life for yourself. The no contact with her being in another country will greatly aid your healing and recovery from her infidelity. There are many wonderful things out there for you if you will move on from this. I wish you the best. Don't try to save a relationship like that, just divorce her. She clearly doesn't want to be in the relationship anymore. I, 20 female, messaged the girl my BF, 21 male, cheated on me with, and she said nothing ever happened between them. Why would he lie? I've been dating and living with my boyfriend for over a year. He would constantly hide that he was talking to other girls, just as friends, even though I told him repeatedly I don't care if he has female friends. Heck, I even encourage it. I have guy friends, too, and he doesn't care. Anyway, there was this specific girl he hid so hard. He deleted messages, had a separate social account to talk to her, turned off his notifications, etc. He would constantly lie saying he'd blocked her, that they don't talk, and he'd say that he just doesn't have an interest even being her friend. They never hang out. They only message. But the fact that he hid it so intently made me feel like he had something to hide. This has been going on our entire relationship. I finally messaged her and she told me that they were strictly friends. He had told her I don't let him have female friends, a lie, and she was super sweet and understanding. She saw it as they had to hide their friendship because he had said he couldn't have female friends, and she thought I was being toxic. They've been good friends for 5-6 years, way longer than I'd known him. He had told me he'd only known her for a year or so. She had proof too, showing that he talked about me, wasn't flirting, that she'd known him since high school, etc. I just can't understand why he'd lie about having a platonic female friend, when I've told him so many times I don't care. When I found out about it, he apologized profusely for cheating, saying he couldn't remember the things they talked about. She showed me screenshots. It's completely innocent. She said he actually did cut her off once I found out. Now why would he admit to cheating when the only thing he did wrong was hide their friendship? I'm struggling to understand this, and when I ask him he just says he doesn't know. Sounds like you have some talking to do with him. It's definitely unusual, but possibly could be something you said or did that made him want to hide a female friend? If not that, it's definitely extremely weird. I think the fact that he went out of the way to lie to you and hide something that is apparently not a big deal is really awful. However, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone who went to that far lengths to lie about something. It must be an insecurity of his. He feels like he has to hide it because he's afraid he may cross a line with you in some way. However, I will tell you that his behavior isn't normal and it raises some red flags. If he goes to these lengths to hide female friends from you, what does that say about the trust that you have in your relationship? He seems to be lying and manipulating to soften the blows, so that there's no risk of you being upset even if you've told him that it's okay. He seems pretty toxic, and I'd be careful down the road. Thanks for listening so far. If story have an update, we will post here. Like, subscribe to our channel for upcoming stories.